Did you realize a lot of women are leaving their marriage because of boredom? Yes, that's right. I said it. A lot of women are ending their marriage, they're filing for divorce because they are simply bored. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm 2.0. Welcome back to another episode. We are doing this series called Reaction Series where we react to certain videos. So on our channel right now, we're doing a series called The Divorce Epidemic in the Church. As you know, everybody who's watching this show knows that there's been such a rise in the number of divorces that's happening throughout the country or throughout the world. There is a movement that is happening now where we see a lot of women are filing for divorce and leaving their relationship, ending their marriage because of boredom. What do I mean? Well, if you haven't seen the video, I'm about to play a video for you right now of a particular woman who's talking about her relationship. And by her own admission, she admits that her relationship is great. Her husband is great. She loves her husband. There is not a thing she doesn't like about her husband. However, there's always a but. But she feels that she cannot be herself around her husband. And because of that, she's thinking of filing for divorce. She's 32 years old, and I think she's got a couple of kids. But yet, she's filing for divorce. She's thinking about filing for divorce. Guess what? Don't take my word for it. Let's go to the video.
I don't know if I'm going to actually post this because this is super vulnerable for me, and I'm a pretty open person. But earlier this year, I told my husband I wanted a divorce. And this would probably shock a lot of my friends and my family because I hadn't told anybody, okay? All
right, this is something that would shock her family, her husband, and all her friends. Why, you're probably wondering? Because maybe it's because everybody sees their relationship and they think they have a great relationship. They see how they are with the kids. They see how they are with one another, how they treat one another. Because like she said, she loves the guy. So why then would she be thinking about filing for divorce? Let's find out.
Walked myself through the logistics of where would I live? How would we split the time with the kids? Who gets the dog? Where all of those things, okay? Had a full breakdown.
And that's another thing, guys. She just said she's been planning everything, right? She's got the whole breakdown. Who's going to end up with the kids, even who's going to end up with the dog, bro. I mean, listen, she's about to take the dog, even the dog. You don't get to keep nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So she's been planning it very meticulously, down to the little nitty gritty details. So she's been thinking about it and she's been planning. Let's go back to the video.
I feel like I have been searching for something in my relationship that we don't have for the whole time we've been married, which has been 10 years. There is not a single thing about my husband in and of himself that I do not love. Let me be very clear about that. He is the most self-disciplined, loyal, hardworking, good person that you could meet on this planet. And that is...
So there is not a thing about her husband that she doesn't like. There's not one thing that she doesn't like. She just said he's loyal. He's a good provider. I'm sure he's a great dad. They've been married for 10 years. 10 years. So there's not a thing that she doesn't like. But for some reason, there's something that's missing that she's been looking for. Let's find out. Maybe she'll tell us what that one thing is.
Is probably the reason. That is the reason why I have not left. Okay. Our relationship and what my expectations are for my marriage and what they always happen are not met, right? Which I don't know if anybody's are. The reason that pushed me to...
She just said her expectations for her marriage have not been met, and she doesn't know if anybody's are. Lady, that's because there is no perfect relationship. Okay. So if you have a list of 20 things that must be checked in order for a relationship to be perfect, guess what? You're never going to find a guy that you can get into a relationship with that will check all 20 boxes. Not one guy. That's why it's called compromise. You have to compromise with the person that you're going to get married to and spend the rest of your life with. Come on, lady.
I can't be myself with my husband. And it's really confusing because I'm 32 years old. I am a mom of 3. And I still don't know who I am. So for me to be like, oh, I can't be myself, or you don't love me for who I am, isn't really fair because I don't know who I am. I'm figuring that out every day. But the reason why I wanted to share this on here in the first place is we are coming up on our 10-year anniversary. We're going to Mexico, to Cabo, for our 10-year anniversary trip. And we're rewriting our vows. We never wrote vows in the first place. We didn't have vows when we got married. And
so you go on to Cabo, Mexico to celebrate your 10-year anniversary. You guys are rewriting your vows, right? So at what point did you start, coming up with the plan with the whole breakdown for the divorce to pull out of the marriage while you're supposed to be rewriting your vows? What are we doing here? You're talking about you don't know who you are and how can he loves you. Man, listen, the man chooses to love you every single day. It's a choice, right? He's choosing to love you every single day. You guys have been together for 10 years. You guys got 3 beautiful kids. He's a great father. He's a great guy. He's a good provider. He's loyal. He's taking care of everything that needs to be done. He is doing everything he's supposed to be doing. And you're talking about you feel like you can't be yourself around him. What is it that about yourself that you feel like you can't be around him? What is it? Hopefully you'll tell us. Let's find out.
I'm struggling to write my vows, like to write a vow. And I think that's because I still feel very unsure in our relationship. The one thing that we finally talked about this past week together, because it's just been something that since we kind of talked about it and I brought it up and we committed to change and we committed to working on our relationship, I started my own business. He quit his job. Roles have changed. Life has been crazy. And we just haven't come back to talking about this subject. And I brought it up again because I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you, like writing these vows is hard. I don't feel like we're any closer. I don't feel like anything has really changed since I brought this up 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever. And I want to work on our relationship. Like at the end of the day, of course, I could get a divorce and try to go find the love that I'm craving with somebody else. But that's going to come with its own hardships, its own complications, and ones that I'm not right now, I'm not willing to take on, right?
Thank you, because it seems like you finally, getting some common sense, because you're talking about, do you leave to go find the love that you're craving with somebody else? To me, it seems like you have a stable relationship at home. You have a husband who loves you. He's a great father. He loves his kids. You got 3 kids together. You've been together for 10 years. And now you're talking about you're going to go find the love that you're craving. Listen, do you know the kind of issues that you're going to run into out there? Do you not have any single friends? Don't you hear how they talk about the dating pool out there? Do you know what's out there? And you just said, I'm glad you admit it, because that's going to come with its own set of challenges, because you don't know who's going to be out there waiting for you. And this is what I was talking about in my previous videos on TikTok. Sometimes we leave the 80% to go chase the 20% that we are missing. 20% we are missing. We're leaving 80% behind because we're focusing on what is lacking and what you're missing, which, by the way, you still have not articulated what is missing. So hopefully you'll let us know.
I love Ryan. He is the best father. Okay. I just need to learn how to explain what I need from him in our relationship, and he needs to be able to give that, and I need to be doing the same for him, so that we can both, like, in 10 years from now, in the next 10 years, look back and say, like, we put in the work and we finally have the marriage and the relationship that we have always wanted, and that is what I want. I guess the reason why I'm coming on here, and if you've made it this long, that's really nice. What have you done in your relationship to get to that point? If you have been in a place where we are and have worked through it and have found things that have brought you closer or that have given you that relationship, like, I'm just, I guess, asking for advice. Like, what have you done in order to get there, and what has worked for you? We're honestly willing to try anything. We have done therapy and counseling before. And it was fine, honestly. It wasn't like my favorite thing, but I'm willing to try that again. And I don't know, books, podcasts, like what have you guys done that has worked for you to get your marriage to where you want it to be? I just don't like thinking, okay, we've been married for 10 years and we've kind of like been at this same point the whole time. I just don't want to look back 10 years from now and not have tried my best to have this like relationship that we both want and that we deserve and that our kids deserve to see in us. So I'm kind of being vulnerable and posting this on here, but I would just like to know, like, what has worked for you and what advice I guess you would have for me. Thanks.
So this lady is posting these videos because she's asking for help, and I'm glad she's asking for help because I know TikTok is gonna let her have the help that she's looking for. But so she's talking about, you know, she tried counseling, she did that before, she loves her husband, he's a great father, and this is what I'm talking about. The man is a good guy. He's a great guy, right? So I know no one is perfect. He has his issues, and I'm sure you have your issues. You have things that you do that gets on his nerves. He has things that he does that gets on your nerves, right? But at the same time, are those significant enough for you to want to pull the plug and destroy the marriage, right? So you keep talking about you, or I need, I feel, so it's all about you. So it seems like at this point, you're ready to destroy, well, not destroy their lives, but you're ready to do significant damage to the kid's life by going through with this divorce, right? Now the father's not going to be in the house anymore, so and that's going to be custody issues. It's going to be, you know, visitation and so on and so forth. That's a lot of emotional baggage that you're going to be bringing down on the kids because you are going through a temporary. I don't know if it's temporary. I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's some, you know, hormonal issues and things like that that's happening. So I don't know how young the babies are. Maybe there's some postpartum depression that's happening. But what I'm saying is just, you know, pump the brakes and think about this. And I'm glad you are, you know, you're open to considering counseling again. So this is, you know, this is not the way to go to pull the plug on this relationship. So I hope you stick it out. So if you have not seen this video, this has been circulating on TikTok. And as a matter of fact, I think that very video got over 3.7 million views, and she's got a tons of comments and some support and some not so good support, but she's gotten a mix of reviews and comments about this video, and to the point where she has to make an update. Oh, she has to do an updated video. So let's go. Let me pull up the updated video that she made talking about this. So let me get to it. Hold on.
Well, 3 million people have now watched the video that I made talking about how I feel about my relationship with my husband right now and myself. And so I just wanted to kind of give an update on here. There have been so many sweet comments and messages with really helpful advice, really helpful experiences of people. And I first just want to say thank you. I've had almost 400 people message me now, and almost every single one of them is a woman who feels the same way as me, or, you know, is in a similar situation and is also looking for ways that they can like better their relationship, not looking for a way out. And I am super grateful for everyone who has opened up to me, and I cannot respond to everybody. I've been trying. I have read every single message, so if you've messaged me, thank you so much. And if you have commented helpful advice, I really, really appreciate it. This past week, you could ask my husband as well, like, it has been maybe one of the weeks that we've felt the closest, like the closest we've ever felt. And it's because we're talking about everything. And so a lot of the advice on here is communication. There's a lot of good books that people have recommended, some retreats, different things like that. And so what we're trying right now, I'm gonna just like tell you guys what we're gonna try, and if we like it, if it works, what we learn, things like that. We are trying to talk more, obviously. I am like just everything about our day, anything and everything, and then doing like a recap of our day with each other, and just kind of sitting down at the end of the day and like really talking about anything that like has come up or whatever. And then obviously a big part of that is what's happening on TikTok right now and what people are saying and what people are commenting. And so a lot of focus is around our relationship, not only with just us, but we went to our family cabin this past weekend with our friends and had some really good conversations, and they were really helpful, like to be a good sounding board for us. And my family, like the ones who have reached out and talked to me about it, like it's just been really, really good for us to have this be kind of out in the open and talk about it. And you can say whatever you want about your marriage is private, and I get that. But for us this week, it has been super great and super helpful. So
This week has been the closest they've ever been to each other. Why? Because they talked about everything. So it seems like the main issue that they are facing is communication. You guys are not talking to one another. You guys are not paying attention to one another. And fellas, it's important for you guys to pay attention to your woman. It's important for you to just pay attention to the lady of the house. And especially, like she said, she started her own business, so maybe she's focusing, 100% on the business, and there's got a lot of, that brings on its own of sets of stress and all the other stuff that comes with running a business. So it's important for you to step up and show support. Step up and have those conversations. Hey, babe, how was your day? How was the business today? How are things with this client? How did it go? I know it was it was challenging dealing with that one particular challenge, that one particular client. So how did you do? How did you navigate through the issues and the challenges? So it's good for you to have that conversation. And as she said, now that you guys are talking more, you went to your parents' cabin, you spent some time together, not just with you, but with the friends. Sometimes that's what you need. That's what you need to do in order to, change the routine a little bit, because most of the time it's just you and the kids at home and, just the five of you. So sometimes it's good to get out, get some fresh air, do a change of scenery in order for you guys to spark new conversation, or not new conversation, but just to talk about things to get things going. But I feel like maybe she felt like, you weren't paying attention to him. Right. I mean, we weren't paying attention to her. So maybe that's what that was lacking. And the fact that she made those videos and she got tons of supports and tons of advice and recommendations and so on and so forth. And now that got you guys to talk a lot. So it seems like this was a much needed spark in the relationship in order. So it's important to look at those things to see what's missing, to see how we can improve it. And she goes on to say that, they're reading the 5 love languages. They're reading that book in order to understand each other's love language, to truly act upon those love languages, to make sure that everyone is feeling love the way they desire to be loved. And it seems like, for her, it's just like, you just need to sit there and pay attention and just talk to her, and just show her some appreciation for what she's doing and how she's handling things, and just be supportive. I think that's what we need to do in order to to make her feel appreciated. So let's go back to the rest of the video.
Are focusing on, and just being open and honest about everything, because I feel like that will help me to kind of get to know what I need, and him to get to know what he needs, and for us to be able to share that with each other. We are also reading the 5 Love Languages book. We started reading that together at night just a couple nights ago. And our goal with that is so that, because both of us think we know what our love language is, but we want to know, like, we just want to know more about what our love languages are, so that we can better show love to each other, and just deepen that connection with each other, and show love in the way that it's, going to be received. Because I feel like that is maybe the main issue overall, is like we're both speaking different love languages and it's not lining up. So, that's what we're doing. We're gonna communicate more and just try to talk about everything. And then 2, we are reading the 5 Love Languages book. Mainly the reason why I want to keep getting on here and sharing is for the women who have reached out to me and said they're in the similar situation and what can they do. And I will share those things. So that's what we're doing. It is very important, I feel like, to note that in my situation, my husband is very willing to do these things with me and work through this and talk to me about it, where a lot of husbands might not be, from the messages that I've received. So I just want to put this out there that everyone deserves not only happiness in their own regard, but also love in the way that you want to be loved.
Everyone deserves love. Everyone deserves to be loved in the way they desire to be loved. I agree 100% with that. So my recommendation is divorce cannot be the default solution that you go to. And this is not just for you, it's for anybody who's watching. Divorce cannot be the default solution that you go to when things are not going the way you're expecting them to go. All right. That cannot be the default solution. So before we can start talking about divorce, we have to make sure we have exhausted all resources, right? So look at what can be improved. Can communication be improved? Can quality time be improved? Can act of service be improved? Any of those little things should be what is analyzed before we jump to conclusion, before we jump to the divorce word, because that's not the way, to do it. And the one thing that I want to point out is at one point during the video, she said she received over 400 comments from women who feel like they are in the same situation. They are in the same situation. So I'm thinking that they are probably dealing with a good guy, someone who's loyal, someone who's treating them well, who's taking care of things in the house, who's maintaining the relationship, who's doing X, Y, Z. But there's one thing, or maybe 2 things, that they feel like is lacking. And because of that, they are not happy and they are on the verge of calling it quit because of 2 things. Again, we go back to the 80-20 rule. So if you have 10 items on your list and 2 of them are not checked, you mean to tell me you're ready to throw out the whole list and then just walk out? The 400 people who are messaging her because they are in the same situation, I think we really need to reevaluate our understanding of the relationship, because divorce cannot be it. I mean, if there's no biblical ground, I don't know whether you're Christian or not, if there's no biblical grounds for divorce cannot be the first, the first solution you guys think about. So I'm glad, she's singing a different tune this time with the update, with the new updates that she just provided. So it seems like they're willing to work it out. She's doing the necessary work. She's reading the books. She's going to counseling, and she's trying to communicate more. They're talking more. They're trying to spend quality time together to improve their relationship. So those of you who are listening to us right now, or listening to me right now, and you find yourself to be going through some challenging situation or challenging time in your relationship, I just want to encourage you right now to hang in there, to stick in there, bro. Hang in there and do whatever is necessary for you to improve the relationship. And to the guys, as I said before, listen, there's no shame in taking the lead to seek counseling, to seek, marriage therapists, to assist with some of the things that you need to understand about one another. There's no shame in doing that. So let's normalize men, seeking help. Let's normalize men taking the lead to look for resources to enhance the relationship. Right? It's not just about, I'm the man of the house, I do this. I'm the man of the house, I take care of this. I'm the man of the house. Well, you need to be the man of the house when it comes to time for you guys to seek outside resources to help with the situation, to help with the marriage. Because listen, listening to her, you can tell she loves her family. She loves her husband. They got 3 beautiful kids together. So I'm sure she doesn't really want to pull the plug. Maybe it was a period of where she's exhausted. She don't know what else to do. And she feels like she's at the end of her rope. But she recognizes that the husband loves her and she loves her husband. They have a good thing going. So she's coming out to TikTok looking for help. And I'm glad you guys were able to give her, sound advice. I know there were a couple of comments in there saying, girl, you deserve better. How long are you going to stay in this? No, come on, you need to be happy. And don't forget, there's a saying, a woman will sacrifice the family for her happiness, while a man will sacrifice his happiness for the sake of the family. Divorce is not it. Let's change that. Thanks for watching 2.0, the reaction series. I hope you enjoy what you're seeing. Don't forget, leave a comment and feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment and join the 2.0 family. We're happy that you're a part of this family. So don't forget to share this on your social media platform. And listen, one more thing. Live every day as if it is your last day, because one day it will be. I'm 2.0. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.